Welcome to a special Yortzeit edition of the short Vort, Le'iloi Nashmas, Imi Morasi, Gitel Bas Moshe, Lily and Levy, whose Yortzeit is on Zion Nisan this year, Tuesday night and Wednesday. In Perek Vav, Pasuk Vav of Parsha Sav, the Torah tells us, V'ha'esh al mizbeach tukad lo sichbeh. The fire shall burn on the altar, it shall not be extinguished. Rabbi Baruch Simon, in his Imrei Baruch on Chumash, says that we learn a lesson here about Hatznei Leches im Hashem, about walking with modesty, acting with humility, like Hashem does. We learn that from the Mizbeach, based on the Sefer HaChinuch, who says when it tells us that it is burning tamid, so tamid means that in the morning and in the evening, wood will be brought to the Mizbeach to light the fire. And this is done even though the fire actually is a heavenly fire. It does not need any earthly help in order to burn. But Hashem wants, out of Hashem's modesty, Hashem wants it to appear that it's not a miracle, and therefore he has a hedjot, a human, help out for the preparation. And we see a pattern that by great miracles even, that Hashem tries to minimize it to make it seem natural, or at least more close to natural. For example, by the splitting of the sea, the Kriyas Yamsuf, the pasuk tells us that the night of Kriyas Yamsuf, the time of Kriyas Yamsuf, that there was Baruch Kadim Azak Kol Halayla, that there was a strong east wind the whole night. Why was this? This was so that the people who didn't want to believe, they wanted to deny that it was from HaKadosh Baruch Hu creating miracles and changing the nature. It gave them an excuse to say, oh, it was a hurricane storm, and that's what ended up splitting it. Of course, that doesn't explain how the timing was so perfect that it saved the Jews but killed the Egyptians. So that's what we have also by the altar. By the altar, we have that even though the fire came down from Hashem, Hashem wanted to obstruct the miracle a little bit, so that it would appear that it was humans who were lighting the fire. So we're supposed to learn like this, to be Hatznei Leches, to be modest. And just as Hashem tries to minimize his greatness, which he's entitled to demonstrate, also when we're doing things, we should do things in a quiet and a private and modest way. The next pasuk, pasuk Vav, so Rashi learns that it says Eish Tamid, and this extra time that it says Tamid is meant to teach us that the altar is also used to kindle the neros, the lamps, because in Parshas Tetzaveh, in Perek Zayin pasuk Chaf, it says there Lahalos Ner Tamid, that you're going to bring up a permanent lamp, a permanent light. So we already had the word tamid, and that leaves it available to teach us that lesson. I'd like to connect to the Rashi there in Parshas Tetzaveh that says on Lahalos Ner Tamid that madlik ad shetehei hashalheves ola me'eleha. When you light the light there, the candles, that you make sure that you keep it lit until it's able to stay lit on its own. And that is a lesson we learn when it comes to teaching students about Torah or about Yiddishkeit, that they should learn learn how to act properly enough that they're able to continue to learn without the teacher and act in the proper way. I think these words, they connect to my mother, Gitel Bas Moshe, and her life. She lived modestly, and she acted without fanfare, as together with my father, Naftali ben Yitzhak Isaac, they imbued the foundation and raised 3 generations of Torah true Jews whose fire and desire for a Torah way of life continues to burn, even though my parents are no longer physically around to guide us. Have a wonderful Shabbat.